What up, though, y'all? This is Ami with The Real Visual Outlet, and it's always beside me,
So.
And today we have a special guest on the show with us.
Larell, from the east side.
He's at the east side. All right, Larell, tell us your social media and where you're from.
My social media is Larell of Judah. That's LarellOfJuda. And I'm from the east side, like I said before, so.
All right, tell us, Larell, what was it growing up like for you in Detroit? East side.
The east side, right. It's crazy. Like, just doing some of everything. East side was, it was a learning experience. Everything that I learned growing up kind of molded me into the person that I am today. So, everything was a learning experience. I started off, kind of like grew up off of 7 Mile in Shiner area, between Shiner and Gratiot. Then later on in the years, I kind of moved out to the suburbs, went to high school in the suburbs, and that gave me kind of like the best of both worlds. So I kind of got to experience the suburbs and the hood. So
you sound a little bit like me.
Yeah,
I'm from 7 Mile and Gratiot too, on the east side. I grew up on Mapleview.
Oh yeah, you stay right on the street.
Yeah.
You stay right
and
on the
then
street.
I moved out to Taylor when I was like 11. Yeah, and then I've been out there ever since.
Yeah, but it's good though to have that balance of both.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You get the best of both worlds. You know how to get hood and you know how to get a little
right.
proper when you got to. Put your interview voice on.
Yeah.
There you go, you got that.
Right, exactly.
You are a Christian artist.
Yeah.
And your genre you would say is what? Christian rap? Because you sing
I'm just
too.
an artist.
Yeah.
I'm just an artist. I try not to box myself in, and I really with the Christian artist thing too. It kind of like the term. I like the term because that's I believe in Christ and that's what I follow. But it's just like I try not to box myself in. But it's Christian music. It's just I'm a follower of Christ, so everything that I do, I make sure that is. I try not to force my message on people, but I make sure that people know the reason why what I'm doing is because of Christ. You know what I'm saying? So it's never you need to do this or you're going to hell. You know what I'm saying? But the message that's implied is Christ at the end of the day is to bring people to believe. Kind of give them to plant that seed to make them think how I think a little bit. You get what I'm saying? So
we definitely got that. We were listening and we were like, yeah, this is nice. I would listen to it. You're not pushing it on them, and it's more receptive because, like you said, you don't want to label yourself. Nowadays, a lot of people don't want to label themselves and box themselves in as well. So it makes it more accessible to people of all kinds.
Right, and I also think it's good to stand on what you believe in. If you believe in a certain thing, you don't have to compromise on it, but you do have to respect other people's views and other people's lifestyles or what you live. You can't force what you believe on people, but like I said, you can plant that seed, and maybe that'll make them sway. Oh, if you live in that way, then they'll make them like, okay, he's genuine about what he's doing, so maybe it's something to take into consideration. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I think like that, yeah.
So now, did you grow up Christian?
No, I mean, I've been Christian most of my life by default, but without knowing. You get what I'm saying? Before you come to the knowledge of self and trying to figure out like, I'm doing this because my mama and my grandmama did. And then you go on that little journey. It's all about finding yourself with me. And I think the biggest thing is to question everything and to find out the answers on your own. Try everything, call out to God, ask God, is it real? Should I be doing this? Should I be doing this? Let me see something. Let me get some signs or something, And that's the thing. It's about having your own personal relationship with the Most High. So I grew up semi in church, not too much in church, but I did, know about God. My father kind of planted that seed. My mother went to church and all that. Got saved when I was 12, but I was little then. I didn't understand, so went out in the world, did all type of crazy stuff, and then it ended up bringing me back that way. So
what made you decide to incorporate kind of like the music aspect into like you giving your message out into the world? I mean, I know that singing is in the church anyway, you know what I mean, but you know, because you could have went the route of like just preaching, you know, or something like that, instead of like preaching through your music.
Well, I always did music before I started doing Christian music. I was doing secular music, and I was kind of, you know, I was getting out there. I was getting out there a little bit, but the lifestyle that I was living, it was just taking me in the opposite direction. So music has always been my way to connect to people, because I found that people like the message that I give more so when I speak it. You might be like, oh, okay, but when I sing it or I rap it, they're like, okay, that sounds sweet. I'll listen to that. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes when you preach it to people and you just like giving it to them like that, they don't receive it like that, but they receive it through the music, and that's always been my way to connect with people. So now, to take away from like what I was doing, it took me a while to get there, to find out my sound and to figure out how I can deliver that message and still make it sound good. Because I didn't want to do it at first. I thought it was corny. I'm like, oh, that's corny. I'm gonna go to church and just, you know, live my little saved life, live my best little saved life, and I'm just not gonna do the music no more. You didn't
want to be no Kirk Franklin?
Yeah, I mean, Kirk Franklin he the elite, you know what I'm saying? He makes stuff sound good, but when you think about Christian rap and you don't hear too many people, it's kind of corny. Then they start mixing it with the trap music and you're like, oh my goodness, man, I don't want to listen to this. I'd rather just listen to the real thing. You know what I'm saying? So,
well, one thing I can say like about your music though is, you know, we were listening to it and talking, and that I kind of feel like it does break like barriers a little bit, because just like what you said, like I don't really listen to like, you know, gospel music like that, or like Christian music like that. But what I like about yours is it brings it to like the new age, you know what I mean, to kind of reach that ear of like a younger crowd, because your music sound like you could hear it on a gospel channel, but you could also hear it on 107.5 or you know what I mean, 97.9 or something like that too.
And that's the whole goal, is to make it something that everybody can listen to, that the youth can still bounce to, because I want to listen to stuff that I can still bounce to, you know what I'm saying, and still have that message in it. Because a lot of this stuff, man, nowadays is just too much. It's too much negativity in it. It's too much degrading of women. It's too much, you know what I'm saying? It's just it's too much of the opposite. So I just want to shed a light on a different side. Like, no, y'all don't got to do this. Y'all can do something else too, and still make it look cool. You can still be good looking and do what you do. You know what I'm saying, on this side. So that's the whole goal.
So as an artist, you know, you say you don't, you know, box yourself in. But you rap and you sing. As far as the church goes, how are they receptive to it being rap and, you know, things of that nature? Because you hear a lot of flack about that.
Like the old people, but a lot. But I mean, nowadays it's a little bit more receptive now than it was back in the day, because you know, you got a lot of people. They just want the kids to do something different now. It's just like, we want y'all to go. So if this is what y'all doing, go ahead and do it. As long as you ain't doing too much, and, you know, we ain't gonna have no twerking or nothing in the church. We ain't gonna bring the extra stuff in. We ain't gonna have none of that. But so that's more receptive. But like the church that I go to, which is Calvary Church of Jesus Christ on Mount Elliott. So y'all can make sure y'all come. But my pastor, which is he's my uncle, but he's cool about it. He loves what we doing, and he just, you know, he just tells us to keep doing what we're doing. We got a couple of other kids in the church that rap, Brothers of Faith. You know, they got a video out now that's doing pretty good. But you know, they all support us. So yeah.
So the best version of me, Chapter 27, latest album. Tell us about the process for creating that album. You know, what inspired it. You know.
Life. struggling with a SKR on there, struggling. No, but the reason why I named the album Best Version of Me, I kind of got inspired by living my best life type of the thing, and I was like, oh, what can I make to be like, you know, like I just want to be the best version of myself. So I kind of, you know, that was trending at the time, so I kind of went off of that. And but the whole project, project in itself was just me being honest, of being like where I came from and the things that I was doing in the way that I was living my life. You know, before I really like gave myself over to Christ, and You know, before we got married, before me and my wife got married, I was out here doing everything that everybody else was doing. And I think that when people get in the church, or when they think that they're saved, or they think that they're at a place on a higher plateau, they become they like almost unrelatable. Like, it's like, oh, I don't understand that you're a sinner, I can't be around you. Like, but I've been there, you know. I've been in those places. I've been to the point where I wanted to hurt myself, or been in those places where I'm messing with somebody and I got caught up, and you know what I'm saying? Like, I've been there. I've been that person. So I always try to make myself relatable. I try to make relatable content, and I try to make music that people can identify with, because that's at the end goal. That's all people want. We are spiritual beings, and we want to have a spiritual connection, you know, in any way, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah, we're all connected, you know, no matter what religion, what race, we're all connected. I definitely agree. Yeah, so the whole purpose of the project was to just be honest and lay it all out there. You know, like on my I don't know if you heard the one song I did, Amends, but I was just talking about different just people that I've things that I've done in my past, and you know, just trying to make amends for it, just trying to get on good terms with God and get my life right, get myself in order, marry my wife, you know, letting the past go and moving forward. And that amends turned into the best version of me, getting there but still struggling with it, and still trying to be a better person after I let the past go. So, you know. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so you living the best version of you right now.
No, I mean, I'm doing I got a long way to go. I got a long way to go. You know, I feel like as long as we here, we still got
something to work on
until we die. It's always gonna be a learning experience, and when you're done learning, it's time for you to go. It's time for you to leave this boy. You up out of here. There ain't nothing else for you to learn, so you up out of here. But I feel like that's one of the fruits of the spirit is long suffering. We always gonna have something that we gonna have to deal with while we here. You know, whatever it may be, whatever that struggle may be for you, but it's always something for us to have to go to build us, to build our character and build our dependency on God. So yeah,
that's deep. That's deep. Yeah.
You know, your album cover, your visuals are very unique to me. The best version of me, chapter 27. I think the cover art is really nice. Could you did you create that? Did you have a part in that? Is it like any meaning behind it, symbolic meaning?
So the thing was, when we shot the video, we did so many shots. We just did like random shots just everywhere. We went to the church, as you've seen, and we went to different places and just shot different, because I just wanted to make it look artistic. So that the shot from the cover is actually, we went to a museum in Ohio. It was some type of exhibit, like a flower exhibit, where they had just different flowers. I can't even remember the exact name of it, but we went there. And then we had a few pictures that we went through, but that one just stuck out to me. So I was like, I want to use this picture for the album cover. You know, I'm kind of looking off. I wasn't really paying attention, but I liked it. And I was like, I'm going to use this one for the album cover. And, you know, so
that's nice.
I added it, and, you know, put a little edit on it and fix it up a little bit. Put the dove on there, represent the Holy Spirit. Okay. Yeah, but everything, I try to just... I want everything to just be in an artistic form, because I'm an artistic person. I just like everything to just look different and not do things in normality. I like to do things outside of the norm, and just push it as much as I can. You know, just give people a different look. And like I said, we want to. It's not to make Christianity or being a follower of Christ look cool, but I mean, I try to make it look cool because, you know, you want to attract people. You do want people to listen to the music. I'm not making it for no reason for people not to listen to it and not to be attracted to it, you know, so that's the whole goal, you know.
What's your take on rap music and the mainstream of people, you know, that are out here today, or basically, or even the Detroit rap scene? Are you familiar with that? Or?
Yeah, because I was doing the same thing, so I was out here. You know, it's like one of those fine lines. I don't want to touch it too much because I don't want to feel like I'm placing judgment on people. But I just feel like it's a lot of, like I said earlier, it's a lot of negativity and it's a lot of, you know, just craziness going on. Like, I feel like people do everything nowadays is for shock value. You know, like everything is for shock value. Everything is for for fame in a way, and it's like, what's the next thing? Like, what's the next thing I can do to get somebody to look at me so I can gain this attention? What can I post up on Instagram to make somebody like, oh, hey, this guy's crazy, let me follow him? And I feel like it's a little bit too much of that going on with everything, not in just the Detroit rap scene, but just rap, it's just everything in general, music in general, and entertainment. And it's just like, just be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Just be yourself. And I feel like people don't want to be themselves because it hurts to be yourself.
True.
It hurts.
True.
It hurts. And
you don't know how many artists that come on this show that say that they talk about things that that's not them. You know what I'm saying?
Right, exactly.
It's funny.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, and I was the same way. Like I said, I was the same way. I was doing the same thing. I found that a lot of the things that I wasn't doing when I started talking about them, then I started doing it. I brought it into existence because I started speaking on it, and then I attracted that type of attention and the type of the surrounding from me speaking it into existence. But a lot of the things I wasn't doing, but it hurts when you have to like really be yourself, when you can't be that character, and you like, oh man, I gotta be myself now. And that's what God hit me with. He's like, no, bro, you gotta I need you to do this. You trying to do this, but this ain't for you. So I need you to come over here. I need you to be real. I need you to be honest with yourself. And I need you over here. This is not for you. And I feel like a lot of people like that. I feel like it's a lot of people like that out here, but they're scared to be because they're scared of the backlash or what they're gonna get or how people will receive them. So, I know how it is. I understand, but it's just time to be real. And nowadays, man, we don't know how long we're gonna be here. Nipsey Hussle just got killed. That was a surprise. It was just like, and he was doing good. He was doing good. And to see a person like that, just like man, we don't know how long you're gonna be here. So just be real with yourself, be honest, and man up and just do what you got to do. But you got to be yourself at the end of the day. You got to be yourself.
Okay. So what's the misconception about Christian music that you've heard? Because I know I seen on one post that you said Christian rappers don't have no bars, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So what's a misconception that you've heard? And then what exactly is like Christian music?
Honestly, I don't think that should be. I really don't think that should be a label like that. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I just identify as I'm a follower of Christ, and that term kind of be like, it's so much that come with it, and you get so much negativity with it because there's so many people like in the church that's doing crazy stuff, and just it's like you just gotta. I'm a follower of Christ at the end of the day, and I don't want people that are Christians to think that I'm saying that I'm not a Christian either. You know what I'm saying? It go both ways. But I believe in Christ. I follow Christ. I read the Bible, and that's the life that I live. But it's so much that comes with that term now, and you think about all this crazy stuff that's going on in the church, and then you be like, I'm good. I don't even want to associate myself with a lot of this stuff that's going on out here. But I think Christian rap in itself is kind of corny. And not to talk about Christian rap, because it's a lot of people that I've met that I even have on my project that are Christian artists or followers of Christ that make music we make good music. We make good music, but it's starting to change now. I see that it's starting to change, and more real people are coming to the forefront. It's been a lot of like coonery going on, if you ask me. It's just been a lot of just like clowning, and I feel like the church wants to mix with the world so bad, and it's not a good mixture. It's not a mixture to win souls. It's a mixture to just whatever goes nowadays. Just whatever goes. We could do this. We don't gotta live a certain way. Everybody's saved at the end of the day. And if you really read the book, it's like it don't go like that, bro. We still got rules that we gotta follow, and it's still certain things that we gotta abide by. But I feel like it's just an anything goes type of thing nowadays, and it's like, what's the point of even doing it? If I was going, it ain't no point. If I feel like if I'm gonna go to hell anyway, let me just go out and do what I'm doing in the first place and not follow what I said I was gonna follow. Why would I go to hell from a church? What would be the point? I could just go out and live any type of way. Kill, steal, shoot, you know what I'm saying? Rob people, but I don't know. I just feel like it's a lot of clowning with the title of Christianity behind it, even from the pastors on down to the congregation. It'd be a lot of stuff that just ain't right. And I understand why people get turned away from God, because the people that we have in the leadership positions are doing the most wrong. They're doing worse than the people that's out in the world. So it's like I understand why that turned people off, and they're like, man, I don't believe in no Jesus, I don't believe in no Christ, I don't believe in all, I'm good. I understand. I get it. But
now, do you think that people, should like separate the? Because I hear a lot of times people say like, well, you don't need to go to church, like physically go to church to be right. You know what I mean, and stuff like that. So hearing you say like that there's people, that are doing bad things in the church and stuff like that. And when people see that, they're like, I don't want to be associated with that. But it almost seems like people need to kind of separate the man, from the faith
right.
and what it is.
Yeah, you're definitely right, and that's what it is. We look to that person, whether it be a pastor or whatever, as our God sometimes, and we expect them to be right, like they not made of sin, just like we are. Right. We all fall short, and I think when they get messed up, then that'll set other people back, and we look at that. But you, like I said earlier, you have to have that connection with yourself. You gotta find with God yourself. You gotta find that connection yourself. Because if you don't, when somebody around you stumble or that's leading you, you will fall too in a way. So it's like you have to build that connection by yourself. And we are the church. It's the church. Going to the build. It's a building, but the people are the church. We are the body of Christ. You get what I'm saying? So church is just us fellowshipping. We could be sitting in here right now having church. You know what I'm saying? Which we are. Because we're talking about. You know what I'm saying? So this is fellowshipping. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
So with this project, Best Version of Me, where are you trying to take it? Because I know you've done visuals for it already. Is there anything else that they're trying to do to promote this or to put it more out there?
More performances and just networking, getting out there. It's the same thing. Whether you in the church community or you out here going to radio stations, up the street at the radio station trying to get on Friday. I used to be up there all the time too. I had a friend that worked up, Sale, he used to work up there. He had a radio show, but I used to stay up there all the time. But it's the same thing though, just networking. More videos, more visuals, because people like visuals. I'm actually working on a visual for someone like me right now. I really want to do a video for everything on the project. So just to give people a different, just a look at how I envision the project to look like. So so that's the thing. And just trying to get out here and just mingle and meet people, go all over, wherever I can go and just build, keep building a brand. Yeah.
Okay.
What's something that you would want to tell a listener of yours that is, trying to get to where you are as far as musically, delving off into rap and, singing, who is within the church? What's something that you would tell them,
Oh, man. I guess, just do it. Just do it. If that's what you feel like you should be doing, and just try to own your craft, perfect your craft as much as you can. I've been doing this for almost 10 years. So it's like I kind of know myself. I know my sound a little bit, what notes to hit, what not to hit, what to say, what not to say, kind of. And, I produce most of my own stuff. So it's just like, just do it. Just go ahead and do it. Why not? What's stopping you? Just go ahead and do it.
Okay. Do the thing. And you'll have power.
Do it. Right. Exactly.
Okay. Do you have any upcoming projects? We know you just released the Best Version of Me. Are you working on anything behind the scenes? I'm
kind of working on stuff a little bit. I have a joint project, which is my aunt he's from New York. His name's Sean Marshall, the Humble Lion. We supposed to be doing like a Hebrew Israelite kind of type of thing with so we just trying to enlighten people and get them hip to just like our heritage and our lineage and where we actually come from, and just letting people know who we are for identity purposes, and not just just to let people know, So
do you consider yourself a Hebrew Israelite?
I'm not an Israelite either. I am through lineage, but it's a lot of the stuff that they. I'm not with the hate stuff. You get what I'm saying? I'm not.
They get a lot of backlash.
Yeah, I'm not with the. Oh, I'm about to. First off, my wife is Hispanic too, so know. But I'm just not. I'm not so pro black where I just hate everybody, and it's just like the knowing your ancestry and where you come from is for identity purposes to me, and I feel like if you actually read the word and you just don't stay in the Old Testament and you read the New Testament, you can see that God came for everybody. Christ came for everybody, not just us because we're black. And if you read the words, you can see that it clearly says that in there. But I think once people when you find out stuff and you aren't led by the Spirit of God, when you find out certain information, it gives you pride. You know what I'm saying?
Syndrome.
Yeah, you get you get puffed up and you think that it's just like, okay, I found out what I am now, so let me bash everybody else and tell them you going to hell. You just sitting in the east side. Yeah, I feel like we all do, because I was ready to leave. I was about to stop going to church. I'm like, why they not teaching this? I'm done. I found out who I am. I'm about to leave. I'm gone. I ain't never talking to my pastor again. I quit. I'm done. But I understand why people do that. It's because we've been lied to for so long. It's like, get dramatic. Like, you laugh because you experienced it. It's like we've been lied to for so long. It was like, why didn't you tell us this? It's like why didn't you tell us this? Like, you should have told us this. It's like, but I find it, but for identity purposes, it does matter, but not for salvation, because Christ came for everybody. But I feel like we should know. I feel like people should know, because we so busy chasing other people's identity and trying to look like other people and wanting to be other cultures and, everything but ourselves, And I feel like the African Americans, the so-called African Americans, the Hebrews, the ones that's in America, that's in America, we just don't know about ourselves. We don't know anything about ourselves. And through history, they made sure that we didn't know about ourselves. It's been so, and we could go on and on about that. I could be talking about that all day. But
that's what your previous singles you had, like Belly and all that stuff. Right. You touched on a lot of stuff with Hebrew, and I was telling Soso I wonder if he's a Hebrew Israelite, or is he connected to that?
A lot of them don't like the fact that a lot of them do rock with me, but they don't like the fact that I use Jesus. They don't use that term. They use they want to say, Yeshua, and you got to say Yah and Yahweh. But I know the name that I called. I know the answers that I got from the name that I called. So it's not a matter of the name. It's a connection of the heart. It's your personal connection with the Most High. It's your personal connection with God. So he knew the name that we was going to use when we came over here. He knew. You think we've been saying the wrong name all this time? But it's been connected to that image of white Christ. So a lot of people have a hard time dealing with that. You get what I'm saying? So I understand that too.
Right.
But I also understand. I have understanding through the Holy Spirit, and I understand that it's not that complicated. It's not that complicated. I think sometimes we just overdo it. And when we get knowledge of something, we take it way left field. We just go too far with it. But it's good though to know. It's good to know. You gotta know. Because it's a lot shifting. And it's a lot changing. It's a lot changing in the atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
It's a lot shifting, man. So
yeah, I think we've been through a big transition just within the last 5-10 years.
Man, last 4 or 5 months.
That too. It's speeding up.
It's speeding up. We don't know what's going on, man. That's why I said we gotta be prepared. You don't know when you gonna go. I just lost my granddaddy. My auntie died a few weeks ago. Then one of my uncles died in January. So back to back.
3 people.
Then you got on top of the celebrities and the people that's dying. It's it's something. It's like, man, it's something that's happening, man. And you better be ready. You better be prepared. Whichever way you trying to be prepared, you better be prepared for it, because it's something. Right. Something happening.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, well, if you don't mind giving us a fun fact about yourself.
A fun fact. But what's my fun fact? I don't got no fun fact.
like sushi.
Oh yeah, I like sushi. But she put me on sushi though. Before we got together, I wasn't cultured on it. But now I eat sushi, Thai food, everything. So yeah, I like sushi, and I really want to get on this health nut binge type thing and start eating like all organic food and just like get on my Dr. CB diet. Because I feel like a lot of our sickness comes from what we eat, and you know, and a lot of everything. And I feel like we can heal ourselves if we eat right, because everything comes from what we put in our body. So
exactly,
that's a fun fact, I guess.
All right. So do you have any shout outs that you want to give?
I want to give a shout out to my church again, Calvary Church of Jesus Christ on Mount Elliott and Varney. Give a shout out to Brothers of Faith. Those my little dogs. They be rapping out. Hopefully they get to do an interview with y'all too. And Digital Labor Studios. That's me and my partner studios, and that's on the west side, 7 Mile and Evergreen. So if y'all looking for a nice studio, like a professional studio, Digital Labor Studios, 19517 West 7 Mile Road. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And my mama and my wife and my mama. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So.
All right. Well, we want to thank you for coming out to the Real Visual Outlet, sitting with us, talking with us.
And we wish you much, much, much success.
Oh yeah, we're gonna be talking. I'm gonna be messing with y'all somehow, some way. So,
that's great. Yeah. Continue your journey.
Thank you. Peace.
Would you look at God? All that He's done for you. We come from a city where they shoot first. A challenger can turn into a user. Got a couple homies laying in dirt, but I'm still alive. We could have been worse. Would you look at God? All that He's done for you. Would you look at God? All that He's brought you through. Yeah, heard your boy knee deep, riding in the SRT. Got a little drama in the streets, lawman reach. Girlfriend pretty and petite, downstairs drinking that lean. Prodigal son, papa don't preach. Put young dog to sleep, he didn't know them boys would creep. Pray the Lord his soul to keep, and that's so bold, life goes on. Ain't no time to right your wrongs. As your mama sing that song, can't call Jesus when you gone. As I scroll through my phone, RIPs all day long. Better leave the streets alone and bow to God on the throne.